All right.
Okay.
Welcome to Conversate with Akeem D. Earl, man. Wow. So this is a first for a lot of things. First of all, this is the first time I've been this dressed up for an interview.
You're kidding.
And that's only because we're coming straight from work. We made this happen right after work. And this is the first time that this is an in-person interview.
Well, I am glad, grateful that you're using DAGADU Law setting for the first
To
time.
launch it, yeah, in the beginning. I'm excited for this to be
Me too.
the first one because we go way back. We were in the trenches.
Wait.
It's so crazy that it's way back because it was 4 years of law school.
Mhm.
Delali was my classmate in my cohort. We started law school together as evening students. You
Yes.
always remind me that we are not part-time students, that we are
We're
evening
never
students.
part-time students.
Right. So the fact that we're here now, tell the people where we are.
For those of you who didn't hear me dropping it earlier, we are in my wonderful office of DAGADU Law. This is one of my 2 offices. I have another office around down the hall.
Yeah.
For my paralegal. But we're officially in the main office of DAGADU Law.
Wow. And I think that's so amazing because from the beginning of law school, you were always saying, I'm starting my own practice. I know exactly what I want to do. I'm going into immigration. I know what I want to do. I'm like, you crazy. You're not going to start your own practice right out of law school. Yeah, tell people why. Why did you choose to start your own practice right out of law school?
Well, first of all, I wanted the freedom. I love the freedom of being my own boss. I love the freedom of having my own creativity. And just self-investment for me is very important because all my adult life, working life, I have worked for other people. And when I work, I don't see my job as a job. I see it as something I'm so invested in, I'm so excited about. So I pour in 110%. Over the years, I realized that I was giving so much of me to other people, and they were taking advantage of that. Not that I'm going around saying, oh, you need to recognize me for the work I'm doing, because I enjoy doing what I'm doing, whatever it is. But it's the fact that I can say, wow, I'm doing this for others.
Yeah.
Imagine if I turned that around to do it for me. And me being very creative in my expression, in my everything, the independence, it was very important for me to go into this knowing that it's an investment in me, first of all. It's an investment in my community. It's an investment, giving back to those who want to do what I'm doing and say, okay, I've done it. I can show you how to do it.
Yeah.
But for me, ultimately, it was the freedom, the flexibility, the freedom of creativity, the freedom to do what I want to do without having to look over my shoulder or having to get into a back and forth with someone saying that what you're doing is not right.
Yeah.
Which was the issue
The
of my
micromanaging.
the last firm. Not even the micromanagement, but it was more like, according to the law, you're supposed to do this and we're not doing this, and just going back and forth. Or seeing someone treating the client that is not right. And I can't do anything other than say, I don't like the way you talk to the client.
Yeah.
I don't like the way you don't communicate with the client, and then you have this back and forth because you see something is wrong and you want to say something.
We respond.
Yes.
So just real quick, what is your current law practice? What area do you practice in?
My focus is immigration law. And the reason why I say I'm focused right now, because I do plan to expand, but I'm starting with immigration law, and for a very good reason, because I am an immigrant.
Yeah.
And I've been through the process, and I know what a process is. And I see other people going through the process without the support. And I feel that something needs to be done.
Yeah.
They need more immigration, non-citizen need more immigration attorney in their corner.
Yeah. So we're definitely going to dive into that. I want to stay on you starting your own law practice, and I want to emphasize that this is not normal. People do not graduate law school and they go right in. It's not, because the whole point of you being a fresh lawyer is that you don't know anything. So it's like a lot of people just like, okay, I'm gonna take this job first, get some experience, and then start. So that's why it is not to say it's a bad thing. It's not normal. Is that the fact that, like you said, you had the freedom and you had the courage to bet on yourself, and you've had experience in law school. You worked, like you said, you worked as a paralegal, office manager for a whole law firm, so you had the experience. But the fact that still, like, you just passed the bar, like, I'm now about to start a business. So when you first started, were there any nerves? Were you scared? Were you nervous? Were you hesitant? Like, what was that process from when you got your bar results and filing for an EIN number? Like, what was that?
Well, let's take it back to before getting the bar results.
Right. Okay.
I was ready.
You was preparing from before the bar.
I was preparing. Right. Like, after we finished the bar on the 27th, of course, I took a break. I got some sleep.
Yeah.
But the following Monday,
yeah,
I started building my website.
Wow.
I already had the vision. I was journaling what I want to do. I already know what I wanted to do. And it was like burning inside of me. Like, you have to have a desire to do, to start your own firm, to work for yourself. You have to have the motivation. You can't just get up and do it. So yeah, some of us are crazy to jump off the cliff right out of law school. And I'm one of them.
Good crazy.
But for me, it was that excitement. Like, oh my gosh, I'm going to do that. It's my baby. And so before getting the result, I had everything laid out.
I remember that you said this in the chat. You said the draft of the chat.
Right?
It says it's not live yet. It's not live yet.
Y'all were like, yeah, crazy. And I was like, I'm doing this. So that was the fuel that got me going. And so I already knew what I wanted to do. So when I got the bar result, fear? What fear?
Yeah.
I was ready to dive nose in. Right. I was so ready. It's ridiculous how exciting and ready I was.
Yeah.
I think my girlfriends got sick and tired of me because every 5 minutes I was like, oh my God, I got this. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. I was just like, and also it distracted me from,
the results. Yeah.
Waiting for the bar results. So I built the website, and which was a great research tool as I was building, because I was basically doing a lot of research to put the content on my website. So it was more, as I was doing that, it was an information that I'm going to do this. I'm really doing this. And everyone's like, are you sure? Even after I started the office, it was like, are you sick and tired yet? I was like,
were people really discouraging? Were people really like trying to like second guess or try to critique a little?
Right. But if you know me, I don't listen to that. I don't listen to that. You already know it. Come on now.
You know what? I knew Delali was the most fearless person I ever met. I think it was like first semester. I planned a karaoke. We used to go out to karaoke after each semester. After finals, when we would just like be beaten to shreds by our professors. The first time we went out, I remember we went to karaoke. Everybody, we were ordering food, we were ordering drinks. Everybody ordered regular food. Delali ordered a whole fish.
Yes!
You ordered with the head. And it was not no small fish, no like cut up fish. It was the full fish. It must have been like a baby shark. And the way we were singing,
it was a sea bass,
dancing while eating the fish. You was going back, and you finished it.
I finished it.
I was like, Delali is on another level. You are on another level. So I had no doubt that whatever you said he's gonna do, you definitely gonna do. If you can eat a whole fish in front of strangers like that while dancing and doing karaoke, I was like, okay, now she's ready.
And drinking.
And she's ready.
Yeah.
So you set up the business. You start your own law firm. What is the easiest part about running your own law firm, and what's the hardest part about running your own law firm?
Good question. The easiest part is knowing that. Let me really think of this, because you're doing everything. You don't really. The easiest part is the creativity. Like when I say creativity, you answer to no one but the law and your clients.
Mm.
You already know how you're positioning yourself before your client and
Yeah.
the court. You are you're going into with confidence, at least for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have the flexibility. There's nothing is holding me back.
Yeah.
To build that relationship with my client one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
That's the easiest part.
Depend on yourself.
Depending on yourself.
Yeah.
I'm a people person.
Mm-hmm.
I love, and I think that's why I'm in this business.
Yeah.
Like, I love helping
Mm-hmm.
people. I love having a conversation with people. I love encouraging, motivating people. So when I have a client coming to me and say, I have a problem,
Yeah.
I get excited and say, I will find a solution.
Mm.
You know, and I just whip everything out and I get really excited.
Yeah.
You know, to me, that's the easiest part.
Mm-hmm.
You know, building that relationship with my client. Now, not to say I don't have some crazy clients.
Oh,
I have some clients who want
to
strays text me and
10 o'clock at night. Hey, yo, Delali, how you do that thing again?
And I'm like, nope.
Where do I send this document to? Like, yo, it's 12 o'clock at night.
Right. And to go back to your question, the hardest part is it's just you.
Wow.
When you fall, no one is there to pick you up but you. You have to be brave to reach out for help. To know that you don't know what you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Reach out for help. And never be ego have to get out of the way.
Yeah.
You know, it's just you. It's just you. That's the hardest part.
Wow. So it's like the easy and the hardest part.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's just you.
Yeah.
You know, day in and day out, if you don't wake up and come to this office, you know, get stuff done, no motivation, you're not going to make it.
Yeah.
So the hardest part is, you know, being able to get up every day. You know, sick, healthy, you have to be there.
Yeah.
To me, I would say that's the hardest part of just running your own firm. It's just you.
Right. So
hire a new person.
Right. And so now you're building the business. So I want to get to building the business aspect of it. So running a law firm, you have to be a lawyer, but you're also an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Speak on the entrepreneur part of it. Like what's the business side of it? Like what did you file to get set up? What's the name of your firm? Like how does that work as being an attorney? Like how does that work?
Well, only a solo practice, you miss one leg. Okay. There are 3 legs. I believe there are 3 legs. Mm-hmm. You are first the entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. You are next the manager, then the lawyer.
Wow.
Right. Okay. You have to have the not necessarily the creativity. Creativity helps, but you don't have to be super duper creative to say I'm going to start my own firm. You have to have the vision. That's where the entrepreneur comes in. You have to have a vision as to what is it that I want to present to my community? What is it that I see my practice doing within my community?
Yeah, benefiting it. Yeah.
Where am I going with this? How do I want to expand? What type of lawyer do I want to be? What type of firm do I want to be? So you have to have that vision.
Yeah.
That's the entrepreneur part of it. Then you have to have the management. Okay, I need to have a desk. Yeah. I need to have a computer.
I need to have this.
I need to have the software. I need to set up the space in such a way that people will feel welcome. I have to do all of that.
I feel very welcome, by the way. I haven't felt the
thank you. It's Delali, of course. I have to do all of that. I have to do the management. I have to get a paper. I have to go to Staples. I have to do this. I have to order the supplies for Amazon. I have to do all this. I have to set it up. I have to call the client.
Yeah.
Before you even get to the point where it's like, yes, I'm open for business. I'm a lawyer.
Right. Yeah. Before you do any research, file any documents. Yeah.
Because you have to set it up when you deal with it will come, right?
Yeah.
You have to set it up. Once you set it up and you said, now I'm open for business. That's the whole thing.
That's when it works.
But you after you set it up, it doesn't stop. You're juggling these 3 legs.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, being an entrepreneur, you got to keep on seeing the vision. Where am I going today? You know, one thing I just hired, you know, a paralegal full time. You know, she's coming in. She's someone I've trained at my old firm, so she's coming. She's always said she wanted to come with me.
Amazing.
So when I had the opportunity, I reached out to her, and she's like, you know, I'm going to be there. And so she's coming on board starting May 1st. I'm so excited to have her. I recognized that when I started getting all these referrals, all these clients were coming in, and I was like answering the phone, sending out emails, like ordering supplies, doing the research. It was a lot. Doing the consultation, I was juggling a lot of things. That was the manager in me, right?
Yeah.
I was doing less lawyering work. I needed to do research on an asylum case or case that is I need to go to court for.
Yeah.
And I realized that I can't do this all by myself. I need help.
Yeah.
They were coming, and I couldn't tell those who were referring clients to me, time out.
Yeah, don't do
I can't handle it. No, I had to say, this is the opportunity for me to hire someone to help because I want to expand.
Yeah.
This is now the time for me to put a tap on.
Got you. And you make a good point. And we talked about even hiring the paralegal from your last firm and these referrals. How important is relationship building in your practice? Because I feel like you built these relationships even while in law school. So I think that's a good point to touch on for law students and young lawyers. The fact that you're able to now run a business, you're getting referrals. That doesn't come out from anywhere. In order to get referrals, you need relationships. Right. So talk on like, how were you able to get referrals? How were you able to build such a relationship with your paralegal that she's able to drop her job and be like, I'm coming to work for you? What was that process like?
Well, I'm a social butterfly.
Yes,
we already know that.
Yes.
I can talk to my friend used to say, Delali can talk to the rock, and if it can talk back, she will have a full-blown conversation. I can talk to anybody. Relationship building in this type of business, in any business, is very, very, very important.
Yeah.
It's your bread and butter, I would say, right? I've built relationship with my banker to the point there where she started her own, managing her own bank. She looked me up and I said, I'm starting a business. I need a banker. And she said, I got you. I will set you up. Wow. And she manages all my banking. So I have a relationship there. I have a relationship with my new paralegal because when she was out trying to network, looking for a job, I saw her and I brought her in and interviewed her and I trained her because I saw her potential.
Awesome.
And I continued to remain in her life even after I left. And the first time she met me, she said, you're running the show in here. I was like, I just got up. She didn't know I was starting. She said, wow. Oh my God, what's your funny? I was like, I was finishing law school and I just took the bar. She was like, oh, you can start your own law practice. She didn't know that. So she was excited for me. And she, and I sat and I built a relationship with her, coaching her because she wanted to do something. She wanted to excel. And so we talked and it was the back and forth learning for each other that we had this relationship that she wanted to go with me wherever I was going.
Yeah.
That was the relationship I built. But it's very, very important for you to reach out. One of the first thing I did when I published that website. Now, my website it's not bringing me the clients yet. It's just information. I knew that was going to be the point. Yeah. It's just saying that I have a business. I'm telling the world I have a business. But all my clients are referrals from other attorneys and from other people and from friends. Because when I first opened my door, I sent an email to every immigration attorney that I know personally. And I told them that, look, I have hung my own shingles and that let me know if there's any way I can collaborate with you in the future. Wow. But I'm open for business. And they all responded, congratulations. I did the same thing with the law school. Sheesh. I spoke to Dean Johnson, the interim dean. I spoke to every professor that I can reach out that I have a relationship with. And I told them that I'm starting my own practice. I'm going to be reaching out to you for advice and help. And I hope, I can talk to you if I need. And everyone was really receptive and open and excited.
That's amazing.
You got to get the ego out.
Yes. I was about to make that's so real. Somebody said, like, you can't be afraid to look crazy or look stupid. The moment you start worrying about, if I send this email, will I look too,
oh no,
dang, will I look crazy?
I said, oops. Did I send the right email?
Right. Like, just encouragement to everybody in with your law school or attorney, whatever, like, jump out the window on yourself, man. Like, reach out, send that email, send that text, look crazy, do it nervous, do it scared, because that's what's gonna breed results. You got Delali out here getting referrals that she can't even handle.
Right?
You can't even handle all the referrals. He's like, yo, chill. Like, imagine if you were scared to send the email, you would have been like shuffling for client. That's so good. That's so good.
I'm live on the should have, could have, would have. I was like, do it, and then we ask a question later.
Yeah, figure it out.
that's the entrepreneur part of it. You have to be brave going out knowing that you have an idea, but the world doesn't know you have an idea, right? You have to tell the world, this is the idea I have. Now, some people look at you and say, yeah, crazy. Other people say, that's really interesting. But you know what you want. Forget the rest. Because if you have to worry about what people say, you would never move an inch. You got to do what you have to do because you believe in yourself. You first have to believe in yourself. And then when you show the world what you got going on, they will follow.
Absolutely.
Right. So trust me, some of the emails that I spend like hours inside making sure, especially emails going to professors.
Oh, yeah. Making sure the period is right. Should I change that word? Too many use.
Professor Johnson. Professor Johnson. It's not Johnson. Professor Jones. The writing.
Yeah. But transition words.
I was making sure. I was crafting that email. I was like, okay, you just got to make the email really short. And I sat on.
Make sure it's concise. No extra words. Not for real.
And then Professor Gibbs.
Right. No, I agree. Yo, I'm telling you, that's a little tidbit. I like to drop little gems in these podcasts for law students, even lawyers too. Spend time on your emails. Spend time on you. You don't got to spend all day, but do not just write up an email and send it. Please spend time. Like, opportunities have been won and lost over email. Spend time on your emails, please.
Yeah, so you don't have to look crazy. No one needs to know you're looking crazy sending that email. You could be looking crazy behind the screen. But when you send that email, let it come out like legit.
Yes.
Legit. So that's all part of networking. How you present yourself. You're always in you. Like, look, I walk around with the heels not for nothing, right? You got to start me in business. So
that matters. People remember you off, especially in legal profession. People remember you off little things. Like, I love the way she crafted her email to me. She was very professional. I've had people on LinkedIn say, I love the way you sent me a message on LinkedIn. It was very well put together. This is why I'm right. Like, these things matter. So, man, amazing. Yes. Okay, so now we're going to jump into your backstory. You said the reason why you're in immigration because you're an immigrant yourself.
Right.
So where are you originally from? I
am from the lovely continent of Africa.
Okay, you can point it out on the map. We can point
it out. Liberia, the land of liberty.
The land of liberty.
Liberia, right there. I think
we got it. We can see. We can catch it.
Yes, I am from Liberia. I was born.
Okay.
Most of my life, I lived in other countries. So born in Liberia, and then we moved due to my father's work. We moved to the Middle East, and that was Egypt, then Syria, and then I lived in Ghana.
What did your father do?
My father was a United Nations diplomat.
Wow.
So that's how I was privileged. To travel internationally and grow up with other people from all over the world. So growing up, Egypt, Syria, going through Israel, back to Africa, Ghana, went to boarding school in Ghana. And after that, I came to Indiana University for college. Don't ask me.
Huge culture. Going from Egypt to Liberia. Straight to Indiana. Oh, my God.
Look. I did not know where the heck.
You probably cried a little bit. A tear probably.
No.
All these white people.
I had no idea. This is part of this is my personality that I was excited.
Yeah.
I was going to college.
Right.
I was achieving my dream to be to go to college, and so I arrived in Indiana. I did not know where it was. I could not point it out on a map in the United States. I knew where New York and DC were, but I had no idea where Bloomington, Indiana was. It's a little tiny.
I didn't even know Bloomington, man.
Look, I was excited.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. The people were asking, Indiana, why Indiana? I was like, I fell in love with the campus. I saw that brochure. I got it. And I was like, I want to go there.
How'd you get a brochure?
International. So I came to the U.S. as an international student.
Okay.
To study. So the goal was to study and then next to the next country.
Yeah.
And I decided, I'm going to get my law degree.
Wait, so what was the country you were going to go to after the U.S.?
Wherever my father was, and I could visit. At the time, he was in Afghanistan, and so I really couldn't go. So I was actually looking to go to England. But to be honest, I think by the time I graduated from college, all of that just went out the window because I was thinking about law school. I have matured to this thing because I was just like, I need to get things serious. I need to be an adult now. So I was like, oh, I need to get my professional degree, my master degree, or my law degree. So that's what I started working on. And then this is the first time in my life that I have built a solid foundation of friendship. Other than the boarding school that I went to, but all my life, like we will relocate, always moving, and people will always move in my school. And so I remember some classmates, but to say I know where they are, I don't.
Wow, like how long would you stay in each country?
I was still like 4. We were 3 to 4 years. 3 to 4 years.
And you just leave. You build a relationship and then you have to leave.
3 to 4 years. Wow. And some of my classmates would leave before I would leave. So we were all in. It was a revolving door because we're all international students. Like there because our parents were there for diplomatic reasons. So for me, it was just like, oh, okay, we're moving again. Sure. You know. So when I finished college and I established that foundation, I said, wow, it's really time to grow up. Okay, I'm going to go to law school because I didn't come to IU thinking I was going to be a lawyer. I was going to be an accountant, a financial accountant.
What changed in that moment?
Because I heard the truth about lawyers. Growing up in the West African community in which I grew up in, if you're a lawyer, they would say you're a liar. Lawyers are liars. Yes. And because you're a liar, when you die, you're buried upside down. This now, whether that is true or not, but as a kid, when you hear that,
oh, look, like, I don't want to be buried upside down.
Oh my gosh, I used to be so scared.
Right side up.
I was so.
But you dead, you wouldn't know.
I was. So folks used to tell me, it was like, "Oh, you're gonna be a lawyer." Why? Because I will argue the scheme of it. I was just like, I would not let it go. We will argue. Why the sky high? You're going to tell me why it's blue?
Break it down
for me. Just because God says so now.
What's the rule?
We're going to break it down. We're going to analyze this.
So this one,
And adults used to get so frustrated with me and said, oh my God, this child, you just need to shut up. And it was like, you're going to be a lawyer. And I was like, but then they told me what a lawyer does. A lawyer is a liar. And I said, I don't want to be a lawyer. I'm not a liar.
Wow.
So I used to be so adamant. I don't want to be a lawyer. I'm not a liar. Man. And then told me I'm going to be buried upside down. Oh,
that was a straw. I was like, definitely not doing this.
So I didn't know, right? Yeah. I didn't want to be a liar. So when I came to Indiana University, I learned more. I decided that, you know what? I called my dad and I said, look, Daddy, I don't want to be an accountant. I'm going to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
And my father had best answer ever, and I would never forget this. I remember he was on the phone. He was in Kuwait at the time, and he was like, "Delali, I'd rather you be a lawyer than an accountant anyway." And for me, it was my father would say, "Just pick a career and stick with it," because I was going to be so many things growing up, but I stuck with. So
I'm gonna be proud of you anyway.
Yeah, he would just say, "I'd rather be a." I was like, okay. So I switched to criminal justice to be because I realized that I had a skill. Yeah. That I had a talent that I would not back away from the fight and that I would analyze this and analyze that. Yeah. And I was always defending people. I was always coming up with like the reason why something should not be accepted this way or should be accepted that way. Yeah. And I had that natural gift for just like standing up for people now.
Advocating, yeah.
I knew that wasn't what it means to be a lawyer. I knew that I needed to be trained to really tailor my argument, tailor the way I say things, the way I talk, the way I write. And so I was like, I'm going to go to law school to be trained on how to best defend people.
That's so good because I feel like a lot of people, even me growing up, you have a certain perception of what lawyers are. You hear lawyers are liars or they're shady. I think there was like a list that came out of like one of the most like corrupt positions and lawyers were like top 5. And it's like that's not encouraging at all. And same thing as a kid, and I think that's a hindrance to people in the profession, specifically people of color in the profession. Right. We're like, I don't want to come off as a liar or shady. Right. And like you said, you have to come to a realization like, oh, I know what a lawyer actually does. In every profession, they're terrible people, but there's people who are able to be zealous, moral, fair advocates in the space while also being very assertive and being very confident in your approach. So I'm glad you said that, because I feel like there's a lot of people who are discouraged about becoming a lawyer because they see something on TV or they see Trump's lawyer. They see a whole bunch of different people's
shady.
This crazy lawyers
shady
doing
profession.
Right. They go on CNN. They see lawyers on social media. I'm like, I don't want to do it. It looks crazy, but
I'm the good lawyer. I want to be the good lawyer.
Right. This is where the Conversate podcast comes in. This is where we house amazing lawyers. So you get to see people in many different walks of the field killing it and being amazing attorneys, being zealous advocates. So use this and other great platforms as your jumping point and not what you see on TV. Because
I agree.
It would distort
Talk
what
to
a
people,
lawyer really is.
network,
Yes.
Have a conversation.
Yeah.
I actually have an intern starting in the summer. I have no idea what a lawyer does. She's been in my office already, and I had her doing research on an asylum case. And she was like, "Oh my God, I've learned so much." She's a high school. So she's like, "I've learned so much.
Yeah.
I did not know that this is what it really takes." And I was like, yeah. So she was really excited. I was like, if I can do this every summer, bring an intern in and teach so they could be ready when they go, they can decide, I want to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have that growing up.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't. I had
Expose
no lawyer.
them.
I've never seen a lawyer around me. Yeah, I've never seen a female lawyer either. But who cares? I was going to be and do whatever. Because my daddy told me I could. My father said, you can be and do anything you want to be and do. So whether I saw a female attorney or not, I knew I was going to be a lawyer.
Regardless.
You know, and so that having that foundation is very, very important because you have that confidence to jump into what you really want to do. There are a lot of great talents out there. Yeah. But being stopped because they're getting the wrong message.
Man, that's so good.
That's the short answer to where I'm from.
No, that's good. No, that's perfect. So you decide you want to be a lawyer. Why immigration?
Why immigration? Because I know the U.S. immigration system. I've been through the U.S. immigration system. I understand the immigration system. And I know there are many people out there who are struggling and are not as privileged as I was when I was going through the immigration system. And I know the flaws of the system, and a lot of non-citizen get stuck. And there are only few good lawyers out there who will not just take their money, but with their whole heart, passion, fight for them. Yeah. And I wanted to be part of that army, fighting for those who can't fight for themselves and just seeking, solution. Yeah. And so that's why, I went to it. And I have to give credit to Linson Harris, Dean Harris, who is leaving law school, UDC Law School this month, I believe. But she basically, I had an opportunity to do some work with her one summer. Yeah. And at the end of the program, she basically said, why don't you look into fellowship of immigration? And I was like, she said, well, because you know the system, you've already been through it, you know what it takes, and you're good at it. You should really look into consider it. I was going to be a wealth management attorney doing estate planning and taxes, because that's where I'm coming from. But when she said that, I said, okay, let me pause. Let me look at this. And I realized that it comes naturally to me. Yeah. When I hear the cases, when I see the problem, I automatically know where to look. I already automatically start forming the argument in my head. Nice. It just comes naturally to me because being around a lot of immigrants, hearing their story day in and day out, hearing how they were duped by non-attorney calling themselves attorneys. Yeah. And I was like, wow. There are a lot of them out there. I can make a difference in that field. I can really make a difference. Imagine. So
awesome.
That was a wake up call. Like, this is your path. You should look at this.
So walk me through a typical immigration case, because people, like you said, people don't know what these people are going through or what these cases actually look like. Walk me through what's a typical client that comes to you.
Okay, I'm going to use an asylum client. Okay. So call her Sarah. Sarah is an immigrant from a West African country.
Okay.
Let's just say she is from Nigeria
Mm-hmm.
in general. She is from, and she came to the United States as a visitor. Now, when she came to the United States, she had, let's just say, 6 months of visiting visa.
Okay.
But while she was in the United States, she was able to talk to some friends who told her that she can stay in the U.S. and get protection for the United States if she applies for asylum.
Okay.
So asylum is basically, it's a relief, immigration relief that is granted to non-citizens who have been have a fear of persecution in their home country, past and future.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So they've experienced some persecution,
Mm-hmm.
or
You're
they
afraid of
believe they will
it's about to
experience some
happen.
persecution. That's just a shorter version of that.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to show that they fall in 5 categories in reference to their relief.
Okay.
So Sarah comes.
Something's going on
Yeah.
in Nigeria. She's
So
scared.
she experienced something.
Okay.
Let's just say Sarah have experienced, the reason why she's applying for asylum because she
Mhm.
experienced something in the past.
Yeah.
She know definitely she will experience it again in the
Mhm.
future. And she finds out that the United States has a law that will protect her, that she doesn't necessarily need to return to her home country because she could be protected or face the fear in her home country.
Right.
But she has to prove, right? So I would take Sarah, I will interview her, and I will hear her story. Sarah, coming to find out that she went through what we call female genital mutilation,
Yeah.
FGM for short. That is something the U.S. Consider eligible for asylum if you can prove that you either it happened to you or it's going to happen to you, right? So Sarah had it happen to her. Sarah believed that it will happen to her again. So Sarah is seeking protection in the U.S. because she doesn't want to go back to do it a second time.
Right.
The first time she almost died. It was by the grace of God that she escaped. And she just happened to be visiting the United States, and someone said, hey, look, what you experience, there is a law in the U.S. that can protect you. So she heard this and she contacted a lawyer. So the lawyer will go through that, and then we have to go to court. We'll file the application. Well, we don't have to go to court yet. So we will file the application. Well, the USCIS, that's the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS for short, has wealth of information on their website. So we'll go on the website, or through my software, we'll print out a form called 589. That's application for asylum. So we'll fill out a form with all Sarah's information, and then I will work with Sarah one-on-one to get her story of past persecution and future persecution, because we have to build a story for the asylum office. Right now, the asylum application that Sarah is filing, it's what we call an affirmative. Because she is asking for relief. She's not being removed from the United States. She's not being deported. And she's using as a defense. Asylum as a defense.
She's just saying, I want to stay. All right. Okay. I got you. It's affirmative. Okay.
It's affirmative. So after we build her story, after I work with Sarah, get her statement, get her affidavit, really make sure that she falls in the category of race, religion, political opinion, part of a special group. So she'll fall in one of those, and then we'll make the case that she falls in one of this group, and that she should be granted asylum. Now, if she goes to the interview and the asylum officer say he believes her that she's eligible for asylum, then she's approved, right? However, if she goes for the interview and the asylum officer does not grant her the asylum, her case is referred to the court. Then we have to do defensive. Now she's now in the process of being removed. She have to go to the court and have her case heard by the court.
Wow. So this is a risk in filing for asylum.
Well, it's not necessarily a risk. I won't call it a risk. You just got to be ready.
Yeah, for the worst.
You have to be ready. You may not get asylum at the office with the asylum officer, but a judge may hear your case and grant you asylum because you're able to prove your case in court.
Speak it out, okay.
Because it was something say, yeah, well, we don't believe that you will go through FGM again, right? Let's just say the asylum officer and say, you have not proved to us that you will go through FGM. And then we go to court, we go to trial, we're in court. And now we are going to put on a case telling the judge that, Your Honor, there with great certainty that this woman will be persecuted when she goes back.
And is this you and the judge, or is there any opposing entity?
Yes, the opposing entity is the government, the Department of Homeland Security.
Okay.
They will have their attorney there, and they will be defending, saying that she needs to be removed. Now, if the government sees that, oh yes, she does have a credible fear of future or past persecution, they may not oppose much, but then the judge will grant the asylum.
Got you.
So it's
and how long is asylum? How long do you have asylum? Is it unlimited or like?
What do you mean?
Like once asylum is granted, you're able to become
a green. She can apply for green card after a year after she's granted asylum.
Okay, and then citizenship. Is that how it works?
Citizenship.
Okay.
She has if she's getting this, if she get her green card based on her asylum status, she will have to wait 5 years. After 5 years of being a green card holder, then she can apply for her U.S. citizenship.
Got you.
So it is a process.
Yes, very long.
You know, a lot of people think, oh, you just go to the top. No, it's a process. People go through a process. There are some folks who have been waiting for years.
Yeah. Tell the people, when did you become official citizen?
2022, last year.
Last year. And how long you been here?
Oh, I've been here for like 23 years.
Sheesh.
There's a technicality.
Oh my God.
The hoops. It's just the system needs to be revamped.
How long do you think it should take a person to become a citizen?
Well, if you have the foundation, it takes 5 years. If you are married to a U.S. citizen, it takes 3 years. If you get your green card based on non-marriage, it takes 5 years. So it's 3 or 5 years.
Got you.
So the reason why just shoot up because my residency went back to 2000. Once I got my residency, they backdated to 2000. So I had been a resident for 22 years before I got my citizenship.
Sheesh.
So it was a law. It was a law specifically for Liberians.
Specific why?
Because congressmen from Rhode Island lobby and say there are a lot of Liberians that can go back due to the war.
What war?
The civil war that happened in Liberia from 89. I left before the war happened from 89 to 2006, 14-year civil war.
Whoosh. But what parties in Liberia?
Oh my gosh. It's just, who knows? Somebody, he's like, what party? It was.
You don't hear about.
Yeah, somebody just got up and decided they wanted to overthrow the government, and so
a 14-year civil war that you escaped. Wow,
14 years. I left before the war started,
and so did a lot of other Liberians. That's why the congressman was like, "There's too many here."
Well, it was an effort. It was a long time coming, and so it finally came through. So we have what we call the Friends of Liberia that were lobbying Congress to allow Liberian citizens who were in the United States, who have made the United States their home, to be granted pathway to citizenship because they have nowhere else to go. And so it was just a lobbying effort on a lot of Friends of Liberia that came together and made it happen. Congressman Reed from Rhode Island, I believe that was the same. Oh gosh, I'm forgetting right now. But anyway, he was one of the top supporter of this bill that went through back in 2019.
Wow.
And I
here
was,
we are.
I was part of that bill.
Awesome. Wow. All right. So let's go back to law school. What was the easiest part of law school and the hardest part of law school?
Oh my gosh. Tough question there. The easiest part of law school. What was easy about law school?
Hey, you cannot answer that question.
Easiest part of law school.
There's no more.
Really thought of the easiest part of law school.
I can't think of it either.
Oh, and you asked me the question.
I'm trying to think of like shut up the class, but that was hard too.
I was like zooming up and down Connecticut Avenue from down the street to get to make sure I get to class on time. The easiest part of law school, maybe it was my class. Well, no,
that's not.
not my classmate. The easiest part of law school.
Let's say what was your least favorite thing, and what was your favorite thing about law school?
Least favorite was the assignments.
Yeah.
Favorite part was like the discussion.
Yeah. To break it down.
Having a discussion, like hearing other people what you're thinking.
Oh yeah.
There was a law, a case that was decided.
Mm-hmm.
Some would disagree, some would agree. Let's hear your thoughts.
Right.
Let's discuss this.
Yeah.
It was fun. I love the discussion part of law school.
I loved it too. I also found it interesting as we got closer to graduation, the classes became more like, listen, we don't have time for no argument. That discussion part went away real quick. I was like, it don't matter now. Because you slowly learn, like, your opinion don't matter. Like, what does the law say?
Right.
When we fresh into law school, you're so excited. You want to, like, discuss your opinions. And it's like, you just learn, like, okay, it doesn't matter.
Right. It really doesn't matter. It's just like, okay, this is what the case have already been decided. This is what's going to be the case.
What are the facts?
You have to apply it.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe you can make an argument to overturn this. Good luck.
Mm-hmm. What is something you feel like you would want to change about law school? The structure of it.
I think the way we were tested. There were some tests that were helpful, but there were some tests that you just like, it's a waste of time because I didn't learn anything. It just aggravated me more and added more work to my caseload, and I didn't learn anything. I thought assignments where we maybe had to dive into it and present. I thought those were helpful. There were some assignment we were just doing just for doing it.
Yeah. Some
just
busy
to
work.
check busy work.
Yeah.
What we'll call busy, just to check the box. And I was like, I don't remember those assignments. I don't, but I remember the moot court.
Right.
I remember my argument. I remember
the real life situations.
Right,
yeah.
Right. I remember being, have the thing on my feet when I had no idea about the hearsay law and we were doing moot court, and one of the panelists asked me, so what about 813? And my response was like, 813? Well, it is not the issue in this case. If it were the issue, we'll be discussing, but right now that's not an issue. That was my answer. I had no idea. And
it's a good way to maneuver.
Luke was my partner, classmate. Luke was like, oh my God, I'm glad you answered that because I have no idea what the heck is 813. I'm like, me either. I just made it.
That's what you do.
And then found out the hearsay and evidence. I was like, never forget that because we were actually engaged.
Yeah. You got to think of your feet in real life too.
I love the engaging in clinic. Granted, clinic, but that engaging with the client.
Yeah. It was very helpful.
Yeah. Really helpful.
I think that's a lot. I'm glad you brought up clinic. I feel like a lot of law students leave law school. They feel smart with them. They all are, but it's like if you have no interpersonal skills,
oh my gosh,
you're gonna very much lose out. And clinic did help you be able to. How do I talk to a client? How am I able to be patient? How do I talk to a client that English isn't their first language?
Right.
And how do I work through that?
Right.
Clinic was very.
I
very
learned a lot of patience. I've learned to, was a gift. Allow the space, the silence. Take advantage of the silence because I was the type of person that I can't. When we have discussion, everyone's just like, dude. I was like, oh my God, y'all say something. And I just could not stand the silence.
Take your time,
So I've learned to just let the silence roll.
Oh, yeah.
So when I'm with a client and there's quiet, I'm just like listening to the silence. So
my thing was like to be prepared for anything. I had a client meeting when she was like leaving work and like on her way home. So she was like in the car, the phone was shuffling. And those are things you don't think about. You think client meeting, you just sit in front of you, how you doing? But like now in COVID times or people are remote, it's like you gotta deal with anything. Client was moving around with the phone. I'm like, okay, you have to have patience. Do you hear me, Kate? say it over again,
Right.
and she was Spanish was her first language. So it's like those are the experience like you have to be trained for or ready for when things because you never know what's gonna happen,
and you can't take it personal. You can't take it
cannot
personal
at all.
I mean, I'm learning this every day with my clients. I have clients, call me. I had a Monday I came to the office. The client was texting me on the weekend, calling, emailing. So I didn't respond because I had to set the boundary. When I came in on Monday, I responded. I said, "Oh, just so you know that the office is open Monday to Friday from 8 to 5.
Let me remind you.
Any messages received after hours will be responded to the next business hour."
Yeah.
He was apologizing profusely. I was like, "No, I don't think I reminded you of that, but I just want to let you know. So if I don't respond to your messages, it's most likely it's after."
Yeah. There's a way
hours.
to politely set boundaries with respect. You don't got to disrespect your clients.
No. You have to. They're bringing the bread and butter, and they're coming to you. They're looking up to you. Sometimes they'd be annoying, but you'd be like,
got to deal with it. Yeah.
I got you.
Right.
I got you.
Right.
So I love my clients. I really love my clients. They have characters. I love my clients.
How many clients do you have?
Right now, I have. Hold on. And I want 17 clients.
17? Sheesh.
17 clients. Actually, no. Let's. 17 clients.
Wow.
17 clients.
So yeah.
What's wild about it?
That's a lot. I feel like it's a lot of clients. I mean, I feel like that's just a good amount.
That's the beauty of immigration. When you even though I have 17 clients, right? I'm not working on all the cases at the same time. So I most of my clients, I think right now I have 3 active cases I'm working on because basically you work on a case, you submit it, and it takes 3 to 6 months before you get your answer back, and then you move to the next stage.
Right.
So I've taken care of most of those clients, and some of them have already gotten their results.
Right.
Others, their cases were filed, still pending a response from the immigration services. And then I have 2 upcoming court cases. And then I have 1 case that I'm actively every day working on it.
So it varies the amount of work that you need.
You get to space it out, not because you intentionally want to, but because that's how the system is set up. Like you file the case and you have to wait.
Yeah.
Sometimes waiting is years and you have to wait, but you're done with the client.
Another part of the patient aspect.
Right. Yeah. Well, you're not done with the client.
Right.
The client, you've done with that section of the client's work.
Right.
And
just waiting.
You're just waiting to move on to the next stage. It's like, for example, if you're filing for a green card, first you have to file for the petition. Once you file for the petition, you have to wait for the petition to be approved. So the U.S. citizen or green card holders petitioning for their relative to become a green card holder. So you have to wait for that petition to be approved. Once it's approved, then you move to the next stage, and the next stage is the green card. Then you do the green card. Then you have to wait for the green card to approve. Now, if you do both of them together, you have to wait for both of them to be approved. But first, the petition has to be approved.
Petition, green card, then citizenship.
Citizenship, 3 or 5 years later.
Wow.
So the case is officially closed if the client's with you until the citizenship is officially closed when the client is sworn in.
Is there any part of this process you would alter if you had the power to like change something about this process? What would you change? Would you take out the green card process? Would you?
Oh no.
What would you change?
No. Understanding immigration or knowing how the process is, I don't think I would necessarily change the way it's structured.
Okay.
Like first, somebody has to petition for you to become a permanent resident, and then you have to. I think it's a process. Maybe the wait time, I would change the wait time, like how long it takes. There are certain cases that a client doesn't need to be interviewed because they have everything there, but sometimes going through an interview gets that delay. But now the system, the government has started a process that is random, where certain clients are not interviewed. They automatically issue their green card. So it just takes that waiting out. So there are a lot of things they can do administratively to take it to remove the delay. But I don't know much about the immigration law that has been in place for so many years
Yeah.
to say I will remove
This part,
green
yeah.
card, because a petition is required in order for a non-citizen to get a green card, and you have to go through the ringer, wait your turn before you become a citizen. So I think administratively, just the wait.
Yeah.
Processing
More
the
efficient
application,
process.
processing the application. I think hiring more USCIS staff to process the application so you don't have clients waiting for many years to get approval for their green card.
Gotcha.
That part would change. That
So-
part would change.
You brought up a good point about your clients. I know a lot of people who want to start their own firm. A big issue or big thought is, how do I make money? Like, how lucrative am I going to be in my own business? Now, I'm not saying for you to spill numbers here, but how do you take that into account in terms of the financial aspect of it? Like,
know your current position. Know how long it's going to take you to get to the position you want to get in. I would not advise someone. The first thing they have to look at is the money, right? I personally, I came into this knowing what I want to do. If you're passionate about something and you pour all your heart into it, the money will easily come. But if you have that mindset of like, oh my God, how much money am I going to make? If you're thinking of all the money, I honestly believe that you can slip up and try to do the short way. If you haven't seen Better Call Saul, y'all should watch Better Call Saul.
Great show.
Oh my God. I watch it outside. They ain't going to get the guy get a break. He get a break.
Facts.
And I haven't even finished the season. I think I'm on 4.
So good.
It's really good. And I was like, damn, is that tough?
No,
and I was like, I'm starting the business. I'm not going.
He was shady though. He was
shady.
cutting all types of corners. Yeah,
because he wanted the money.
Yeah.
It was the money. So I would say focus on what you want to do. Have the foundation. Yes, if you have savings, tap into that saving, knowing very well that it's going to take you 3-6 months to at least start pulling from the business. And that's what I did. I didn't start of like having money rent coming in. I have to really push my way through to get the clients coming through. I have to do the networking. I have to do the setup. I have to make sure I was ready. So when the clients come, it will be go, right? So
if you're always focusing on the money and you're not setting the foundation, that money gonna walk right out the door.
Right. So if you have some saving, start small, start a foundation and know that, okay, I need this amount of savings to survive on. So I had savings. I had that savings and I knew that this is going to pay my mortgage for my condo. It's going to pay the overhead and getting my business started, my startup costs. Okay. Because it takes money to make money, right? So it's going to cost. But I knew baby steps and I knew that I had this chunk of money here, this. But I also knew when I set my fees, it's going to cover half of what I've already... You
adjusted, yeah.
So I just needed the basic to start up.
Yeah.
Then I set my fees, and I set my fees with confidence because I had a backup. I have the resources, I have the experience, and I had people that I could reach out to, and I knew what I was doing. If I don't know, there's a law for that. The most important, the golden ticket in your pocket is that JD and then / Esquire, right?
Yes.
You have that golden ticket. Use that to say, I have what I need to make the money.
Yeah.
But you have to do the work too. You can't just say, okay, I have the computer, I have the, now the clients will come. No, you got to be like Saul, go there, hustle, bustle, but do it right.
Right. Do it the right way. Yeah.
Don't focus on it. Know that the money will come. It's going to come slowly. So it wasn't until March. So I opened my firm the day I was admitted in December. All of December, I was doing a lot of administrative stuff. Beginning of January, because it was half December, the 12th. So I didn't have much with the holidays and everything. So January 1st, by February, I knew that I needed to start replenishing my savings. This is when I was like, we got to get out of this condo. We got to hit the pave. We got to be out there. I was about to do workshops, go out, I was doing, if you ask me to speak at an event, I'll say, I'll be there.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just dropped my name a little bit. Not a little bit, but a big bit.
Yes, yes, yes.
But I knew when I had to start ringing it in, but I give myself 6 months.
Good.
You have to give yourself time. So for me, it was 6 months. And so now I'm going to my 5th month. Maybe we'll make it the 5th month. And
5 months in.
5 months in.
Jeez.
5 months in. But you have to know you have to know. I believe you can do it. You have to have the desire to do it.
Wow. Wow.
It's not easy.
It's not.
But you got to be tougher than the problems that are coming to you. Otherwise, it would just that weight would be down. You would never get up.
Say it again. You got to be tougher than what?
You got to be tougher than the problems that are coming to you. It's not
That's
easy.
A bar.
Look, it's not easy. I won't say I've had it easy now.
Yeah.
Now I just make sure I
It's
surround
part of the process,
myself.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is no other alternative to getting to where you want to. Like we're trying to search for a path where there's gonna be no obstacles. This is the only way.
Trust
the
me.
hard way is the only way to get to where you want.
I now that I have hired someone, my number one concern is making sure that she pays her rent. So she's going to be doing a lot of the administrative stuff, and I'm going to go out there pounding the pavement, right? Because someone is depending on me for their livelihood. So that even is more, it motivates me more to get up. I walk to work every day, 30 minutes walk back and forth. That's my exercise. As I'm coming, when I wake up in the morning, I was like, I'm excited because it's my baby.
Yeah.
Right. If I don't get up, no one is going to get. I was sick coming to work. I went to the dentist, came to
swollen jaw.
I didn't have clients that day.
If you don't come to work with a swollen jaw after the dentist, you don't want it hard enough.
Look,
you don't really want it.
This is just
you don't really want it. Stop playing.
Clients, they would know that I overdo it. I'm just doing the most.
Get a root canal and go straight to court. Stop playing around.
Look, I was getting.
Do that. Get some rest, Joe. Get some rest.
I was getting an implant. I was getting an implant from the tooth that I cracked in law school because of stress. The dentist told me you cracked your tooth. You're stressing too much, Delali. I was like, for real? Gotta keep on going. I gotta finish this.
We should be able to file like personal injury claims against law schools. Our law schools are like workers' comp for the injuries.
Dude,
the
what we
PTSD,
went through,
man.
What we went through law school is nothing. It made it easy for me to do what I'm doing. I had a fire in my car and I was still making it to class.
That's true. Your condo gets it. Yeah,
I was about, it was at the end of my the first year in 2019. I was actually about to have an exam the following day.
Yeah.
When the professor said, you can't do this, Delali. I was like, I was like, you need a break. And the school had to intervene. It's like, you need to see a counselor because you're not all the way there. We
and you bring up another amazing point. The advice I give, I'm going to ask you to give a gem for law students right after this. But the advice I give law students all the time is that life is still going to happen. I feel like I was lied to by like different law students and panels that I went to before law school. Like law school is the only thing that's going to matter. Shut everything else out. And that's true up until the point. But it's like when you get to law school, you still got bills. Your apartment could get set on fire. I'm like, what? But your apartment wholly just burned down. I had somebody on some podcast who their boyfriend died in law school. People pass away. People are taking care of children. People are taking care of their parents. Having babies, multiple babies. Like, life still goes on. You're going to have to manage that.
Yes.
Obviously, there's grace and people are great to have that support system, but the excuse, you can't have excuses. You're going to have to manage that. You're going to have a final in 2 weeks, but you have to figure out how to make your rent. Like, you're going to have to figure it out. Life still goes on. And like you said, it prepares you for in the real world because you're running a business, but something's going to happen. Yeah. Something's bound to go wrong. How are you? Right. How do you?
No, I'm still here.
Yeah. How do you navigate those obstacles? How well are you able to respond to those things and keep moving forward? Anyway, like that's the hard part. So
it's just you.
Yeah.
If you don't get up, you don't eat. You decided to get into that. Well, I decided to do this, right? And I have to wear many hats. Yeah. I have to know that nothing can keep me down because this is what I want. This is my baby. This is my dream. This is my investment. This is everything. This is my vision.
Yeah.
I know my vision. I see my vision. I see a law firm that I'm building that will make a difference in my community, will make a difference to immigrants out there. I see of that. I see my passion like nonstop going, right? And I want to be the best I can be.
Amazing.
And so come rain or shine, whatever the weather brings, dental appointment, swollen jaw, or whatnot. If I can make it to my office and, file a client's case or respond to a client's email or encourage a client that they will be okay, that the application is in the process, I think I've done my duty to give hope to someone that day.
Yeah.
It's just you have to, life happens. We gotten this far because life happens.
Yeah.
Right? We got through law school and passed the bar because life happened. We were working full time. I was working until June 16th before I stopped to study for the bar full time. Because I knew that if I don't work, I would not be able to pay my condo. I would not be able to pay my rent.
Yeah.
The good thing that came out of the apartment fire is that I bought a condo. That's all right. But I remember when the fire happened, everyone was like, "Oh my God, Delali!" People were so worried. I said, "You know what? It happened.
Yeah,
I got to keep moving. I can't sit here and be crying." I didn't tell you guys.
Yeah, I didn't. We know for a long time.
No one knew. I think it slipped, and someone happened to it slipped in a conversation.
Yeah,
and I think I said it nonchalant. It was like,
no, I think you were looking for. I think somebody said you were looking for an apartment. And I was like, why?
Right. I think I was talking to Tone, your wife.
Yeah.
And you guys were saying you were shocked. I remember, and I was like, "Oh yeah, my apartment caught on fire."
Right, like,
they were like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh, it happened back then."
Yeah.
For me, I wasn't ready to say, "What can you guys do?"
We could have threw you a couple dollars. You need somewhere to stay. You need a pillow.
But I appreciate it. I wasn't sitting in there. I need to keep moving.
Yeah.
I was out trying to, and it was around fine. I need to keep moving.
Yeah.
Keep moving. That is why I am where I am right now. My immigration situation is, that got me through the U.S. immigration system. It's why I'm here.
Yeah.
You got to keep moving.
Yeah.
It's tough.
It's hard. Yeah.
Look, maybe another day, another podcast. When I break down what I went through to be where I am, to finish law school, with the way I finished law school, be recognized for, what was I award? I don't know. I had no idea. I'm just under for practice. And I was like
the best lawyer.
The Dean's Cup.
Yeah, it's the best law student ever. Something like that.
I just wanted to graduate. But to know that all that happened and I came out, one piece still have my mind.
Yeah.
Innocent. Like, I've not gone crazy. I'm grateful. And so based on that training, I can do anything. I can start a law firm.
Right out of law school.
I can start a law firm right out of law school. You can't tell me nothing.
You can't nothing.
Right? Nothing. I think we were prepared.
Yeah.
UBC prepared us.
Absolutely. Shout out to
give us the confidence that we can do it. If I didn't have the support of the professors, the deans, and my classmates, like when I say certain things, Delali, I can see you doing that. That support around you taking and like knowing that you have the foundation to go out into the world and make the difference, like promote justice, make the change, and change. Make the change, promote justice, impact lives, and make the change.
Yeah, you got it right. You got it.
I got it right.
You got it.
Someone's gonna correct me. He's like, "No, that's not it." Oh well, you should have been on the podcast then. I would not have that confidence. I mean, it's one thing to say I can do it. It's another thing to be prepared. I knew I have the foundation to say, if you don't know the law, whip out the reference book, go on Westlaw, go on LexisNexis, and do the research. Research is the first thing we learn in law school. Research, right?
Yeah.
So everything, how I established my law firm, is based on my research.
Amazing.
Research.
Man, that's so good.
That is the number one key.
Yeah. So I think there's a perfect way to close out. I always close.
We were just getting started.
I know. We're gonna need a part two. For real. But we close out with the closing statement of the Conversate podcast. And usually I have a word that you need to use.
Uh-oh.
And I am so unprepared today.
Should I be, well, it was out live in person, so you were trying to wing it. Should I be grateful?
Right. You should be grateful. I don't have a word today. You lucky. It's a special day because we're in person, so we don't have a word today. But close out the Conversate podcast with a closing statement to law students who want to start their firm out of law school, to the immigrants who are in law school right now, the immigrants in general. Like, what do you want to say to those people? How do you close this out with the closing argument, closing statement?
To the immigrants in law school or out there, know what you want. Know that you've come this far, whether you've crossed the desert or crossed the ocean. However you got here, know that you got here. And because you're here, you continue going where you want to go. Have your dream. Never lose sight of what you want to do. Focus, 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 focus. You can do it. And when you get to the bar, for the immigrants in line, when you get to the bar, that focus should add to practice to pass the bar, right? Good. To the young lawyers who are hoping to start their own law firm, believe in yourself. Know that you have a golden ticket to go anywhere and do anything. Know that you have the foundation. You need but move yourself. Get up. Focus on your vision. Have a vision. Live by a vision. Die by a vision. Every day. That should be what gets you up from bed. I wake up 6, 7. I'm like, yeah, DAGADU law. Have that. My focus is, DAGADU law. That's my fuel. Have a focus, have a fuel that you, no matter what, whether you went through the dentist or
apartment got qualified.
Right. Apartment you are in it.
Yeah.
Because you have your vision. Have a vision.
Amazing.
If you have a vision, nothing can steer you off. The sky can be falling. You'd be like, that's okay. I see my vision and my future is bright. Right. That's fine. Man. For me, that's what it is. I have a vision. And yeah, all the crazy people say, oh my God, you doing this? Aren't you scared? No, why should I be scared? The future is bright. So have a vision.
Wow. Amazing. Let's go. That has been the Conversate podcast, our first in-person dressed up podcast, Conversate podcast. Thank you so much, Delali, for being on this podcast. It's been an amazing episode, and I know so many people are going to be impacted by this. I appreciate you. And we'll be back with more. This has been Conversate with Akeem D. Earl. I guess Delali.
Well, thank you. Thank you for setting it up in my office.
Right.
And putting DAGADU law on
blast. We gotta,
DAGADU law on blast.
See the whole thing.
Let's act some country way over here.
Right, man.
DAGADU law on blast.
Come on. Give the full pitch. DAGADU law.
Thank you.
Based in DC, of course.
I had a good time. I hope it will make a difference to people out there who want to do it. And hey, share my information. If anyone want to talk to me, I'm happy to, get some tidbits for the young lawyers coming out there. I know it's hard.
Yeah. And that's a great reminder, guys. If whatever episode you're listening to, if you want to be able to connect with the attorneys, reach out. These attorneys want to help. They want to pour back into you. So do not be afraid to reach out.
Especially UDC law students.
Yes. Come on. All right. This has been Conversate. Let's go.
Thank you.